Good morning, Jefferson City. Welcome to the NT Daily for Wednesday, August 12th. We've got a full show today. The Cole County Jail is full, and the sheriff has an idea for how to pay for more room. Missouri is gearing up for another major abortion vote this fall. JCMG has added 2 new pediatricians just in time for back-to-school season, and the Missouri State Fair is almost here. Plus, we have some new deals from Hen House that start today for those of you still attempting to keep food in the house while the kids are home, like myself. And we also have a new sponsor of the NT Daily. So let's get into it. Cole County supposedly has a space problem. The Cole County Jail has been sitting at or near its 160 inmate capacity for much of the last 2 years. Last year, the county spent about $452,000 housing inmates in other counties, and it's on pace to spend around $480,000 doing the same thing this year. Sheriff John Wheeler says there is actually room to add another 160 beds inside unfinished space at the existing jail. Just one small detail, it could cost $38 million. Doesn't seem like a small detail, but I'm not an accountant, but when the problem is costing you about $500,000 a year and the solution costs $38 million, the math is a little hard there for me, but somebody maybe can explain it to me. Wheeler says the county is discussing the possibility of asking voters to increase the county's law enforcement sales tax from 3/8 of a cent to 1/2 cent, potentially as soon as the April ballot. Again, interesting math. The sheriff argues the numbers make more sense over the long term because an expansion could eliminate the cost of sending inmates elsewhere and create additional space for federal inmates, which bring higher reimbursements to the county. But before we move on to some state policy, today's show is sponsored by MU Healthcare. MU Healthcare's front door is never too far from yours, with more than 80 locations across mid-Missouri and expert hospital care in Jefferson City and Columbia. MU Healthcare is committed to ensuring every Missourian has access to the region's most advanced diagnostic and treatment options. MU Healthcare, expert care close to you. Speaking of healthcare, there's an interesting look in today's paper at just how difficult tracking this new foodborne outbreak can be. Public health nurses investigating a large cyclospora outbreak in Michigan. Again, this is the parasite that has been making people in Michigan and across the Midwest very sick, have been asking patients to dig through grocery store apps, restaurant receipts, and even remember the exact taco they ordered weeks earlier. That's because symptoms from the parasite can take as long as 2 weeks to appear, making it difficult to identify which food may have caused the illness. Seems like illness roulette or fast food roulette. I'm not sure. Investigators have been reconstructing people's meal purchases by purchase to try to pinpoint the source. So apparently your stack of old fast food receipts does have a public health purpose after all, which College Aaron would really appreciate. Turning to state politics, Missouri is heading towards another major ballot issue, an abortion vote in November. Governor Mike Kehoe is supporting Amendment 3, which would prohibit abortion in most circumstances, with exceptions for rape, incest, and medical emergencies. First Lady Claudia Kehoe is serving as treasurer of the Political Action Committee, campaigning in favor of the amendment. Meanwhile, groups opposing Amendment 3 say the large defeats of Amendment 4 and 5 during last week's primary give them real optimism for heading into November. Supporters of Amendment 3 argue abortion is a very different issue and say turnout will ultimately determine the outcome. Both sides are already raising significant money, so this will still be one of the biggest statewide political fights ahead, is still yet to come. But let's talk about something slightly less controversial, or should be, feeding your family. Although depending on what your kids refuse to eat, maybe one only slightly controversial. So we are getting very close to school starting, but the kids are still home, which means many Jefferson City refrigerators continue to operate less like refrigerators and more like a convenience store. Thankfully, Hen House has some help this week. You can get family pack beef top sirloin steaks for $6.99 a pound, boneless, skinless chicken breast $2.99 a pound, and a 32-ounce package of good-to-go buffalo chicken wings for $4.99. In the produce section, you have seedless watermelons, seedless grapes, gala apples, big hit at my house. And if your children somehow finish dinner, like mine, immediately announce they're hungry again, they will. Hen House has cinnamon rolls and sugar cookies for $2.99. Go see our friends at Hen House at 1904 Southwest Boulevard here in Jefferson City. And speaking of kids heading back to school, fingers crossed, one more week. Jefferson City Medical Group is adding 2 new pediatricians. Dr. Emily Garrison and Dr. Chase Chapman have joined JCMG's pediatrics team, providing care from infancy through adolescence. JCMG says both physicians are accepting new patients, and the expanded team will allow the group to offer greater access to care, including same-day appointments. The timing is pretty good because back-to-school season is also a good reminder to get the family routine back on track. In the News Tribune, we have a health column in the News Tribune this week that recommends gradually returning kids to consistent bedtimes before school starts. Younger school-age children generally need 9 to 12 hours of sleep, while teenagers need roughly 8 to 10. Doesn't say anything about mom. I feel like I need 15, but we're running on about 5. Other recommendations include scheduling well-child visits, encouraging water instead of sugary drinks, good luck, keeping an eye on unnecessary screen time, and aiming for about an hour of physical activity a day. After several months of summer, we have to convince the children that we need vegetables and that pants with buttons still exist. So good luck to everyone involved. Let me know how it goes. We also are excited to welcome a new advertiser to the NT Daily today, Coleman Appliance. Today's show is sponsored by Coleman Appliance. They're a family-owned, locally rooted with more than 70 years of combined experience on their sales floor. So when you walk into their 4,000 square foot showroom, you're talking to people who actually know appliances. Coleman Appliance carries top brands like GE, Bosch, Frigidaire, Speed Queen, and more, and they stay on top of the latest manufacturer rebates and promotions to help you get the best value available. Whether you're replacing one appliance or starting fresh, visit Coleman Appliance in Jefferson City and let their local team help you find the right fit for your home. We're excited to have them supporting the NT Daily. And finally, before we go today, clear your calendar and prepare yourself emotionally for funnel cake. Yep, the Missouri State Fair is almost here. This year's 11-day fair has a Stars and Stripes theme, of course, because we love a good theme around here, and it is still America's 250th birthday, even though we're past 4th of July. But we can still put on some red, white, and blue for the fair. Organizers are adding new exhibits focused on American history and veterans, along with a newly built arena that will host rodeos and livestock shows. The annual Drive to Feed Kids, led by 4-H and FFA students with Missouri Farmers Care and Missouri FFA, has also set an appropriately patriotic goal this year, providing 250,000 meals to Missourians facing hunger. On the entertainment side, the concert lineup includes Bailey Zimmerman, the All-American Rejects, and Little Big Town, along with a new lineup of carnival rides. I have to say, played a lot of All-American Rejects on vacation for my kids so that they could get used to them. You have livestock, concerts, carnival rides, Missouri agriculture, and food that can probably only be legally served if it comes on a stick. So, in other words, the State Fair is back. And that is your NT Daily for Wednesday. You can find these stories and plenty more, although maybe not the same level of entertainment as you get with me at newstribune.com. And we will see you back on Thursday. Have a great morning.